just destroys those poor kids. Henry once ran for 502 yards in a single game back in high school.
He also had a 57 carry game. He had over 6,000 rushing yards in high school. He's the most prolific high school running back ever, statistically ever. He went and wins the Heisman at the University of Alabama with a monster 2,000-yard season. I have no idea why people. There were some people that doubted whether when he was going to Alabama, if you read the scouting reports, about whether or not he translates to a running back at the college level. And then the same doubts about him at the professional level.
There were.
He's 245 pounds and is fast. Like, that translates at every level. And I don't know how some of those parents can pull their kids off the field.
Yeah, I played against a guy, T.J. Duckett.
Oh, yeah.
In Michigan. Yes, former Falcon. Went to Michigan State. On the football field in high school, you saw that big guy. It was,
you know right away, you're like,
don't miss our hot buy.
Yeah, 6'3", 250 that runs a 4.5.
And TJ had that 4.4.
Yeah. I mean, what he did on that the last drive of the first half, having all 75 yards for the Titans for the final touchdown of the game was remarkable.
All right, time now for stories to start your morning. May have taken a little longer than most people expected, but the Dallas Cowboys have officially moved on from the Jason Garrett. It's being reported that Dallas has already interviewed Mike McCarthy and Marvin Lewis, both established NFL head coaches, to fill his position. Nick, who should be the Cowboys' next head coach?
Well, I think they're on the exact right track. Not a college coach, someone with NFL experience. I'm sure Josh McDaniels is their top choice. People are going to laugh at Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis did a good job in Cincinnati. That was a laughingstock franchise. He leaves. They go 2-14. I think Marvin Lewis, I think Leslie Frazier deserves an interview. He's done a great job with the defense in Buffalo. And keep an eye on the Sean Payton rumors starting up again, especially if Drew Brees' future is a little in doubt with his contract expiring. But a veteran head coach, which looks like what they're looking at.
And so you don't think Mike McCarthy at all?
Mike McCarthy would not be one of my first.
So he honestly would be one of my first because he's been to a storied franchise. In Green Bay Packers, he had the quarterback. He had personnel that he had to overcome as far as emotions and different guys. I like Mike McCarthy. I don't know if I like him first and foremost over New England and Josh McDaniels.
Having played for him, you like him.
Having played for him, 100%. Okay. I think he would get the best out of him.
The word is Jerry Jones wants an established head coach. He would definitely be that. Moving on, the Eagles hosting the Seahawks in the NFC wildcard game yesterday. Carson Wentz making his first career playoff appearance. It didn't go well, and it didn't last long. Wentz gets hit by Jadeveon Clowney. He had to leave the game in the first quarter with a head injury, would not return. Seahawks hold on for the 17-9 win. Nick, does Philly win if Wentz does not get hurt?
I don't think they do, because I think Seattle is, if Wentz is out there, let's assume Philly scores more points. Bless you, Jenna. I think then Seattle allows Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson more often. Because they were in control of this game, they stayed dedicated to a totally ineffective running game. There's no way to know it, and I feel sick for Carson Wentz, but it's not like McCown came in and had a bunch of turnovers. He played a clean game. He played well enough to keep them in position. I don't think they'd have won if Wentz stayed in.
Yeah, I think they would have won if Wentz stayed in. And here's the reason why. When you are so focused on a playoff game, the game plan is literally formulated around the guys you expect to play. And so with that being said, with the success that he's been able to have over the last few games of the season, getting them up to this point, playing in tight games and then being able to be special, that's what they needed. And they didn't have that. Even though McCown played a great game,
and they couldn't finish off drives, too.
Exactly.
5 drives inside the 30, came away with 9.
Yeah, how many first-team reps did Josh McCown actually get with that Eagles team at all in the last couple of weeks? On to the Texans hosting the Bills on Saturday. Despite a quick start from the Bills, it was Deshaun Watson who ended up carrying Houston back from a 16-point deficit to secure the 22-19 overtime win. Nick, how impressive was Deshaun Watson?
He was sensational. I think he had the best moment of the weekend, the one we're watching right there. The Texans have a future first-ballot Hall of Famer in J.J. Watt and a future league MVP in Deshaun Watson. And those two players willed the team to overcome a deficit, willed the team that The team that had beaten them, remember, Bills Oilers, it was 35-3, and the Bills came all the way back for the worst moment in Houston football history. This isn't quite 35-3, but it's 16-0 after the Texans were woefully unprepared to play to start the game. That's on coaching. And then the sensational athletes of J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson won this game for them.
You just said it right there at the end. The sensational athletic ability of J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson. Arguably one of the best plays that we will see in the playoffs until Lamar Jackson plays. But this is why the mobile quarterback is so important. Because if he's not mobile, he got sacked 7 times, but he was still able to extend plays and make the play of the game for his team to win the ball game.
I'm so happy for Deshaun. He deserved this moment after last year's terrible playoff.
On to Saturday's other wildcard game. Pats hosting the Titans, and Tom Brady would have a day to forget, finishing just 20 of 37, 209 yards, no scores, and ending the game with a costly pick six. With New England eliminated, the focus now turns to Brady's future with the Patriots.
He also had a 57
Our Jake Glazer reporting that TB12 won't give the team a hometown discount, much as he had the last couple of years, assuming the Patriots decide to bring him back. Here's Bill Belichick yesterday on Brady's future.
Alabama with a monster 2,000-yard season.
Tom's,
I have no idea why there were some people that doubted whether when he was going to Alabama, if you read the scouting reports about whether or not he translates to a running back at the college level, and then the same doubts about him at the professional level. He's 245 pounds and is fast. Like that translates at every level.
Give the proper attention
and I don't know how some of those parents can pull the kids off the field.
Yeah, I played against a guy, T.J. Duckett.
My input into those decisions. Any decisions made
went to Michigan State on the football field in high school. You saw that big guy.
So there has to be some type of communication, understanding. Agreement, whatever you want to call it.
6'3",
And that's not a one-way street.
4'5".
Yeah.
Greg, you watched Tom Brady play this season. He certainly wasn't vintage Tom Brady, but you also saw him get out with the Patriots out in 8 no yards. Do you think that the Patriots should want Tom Brady to come back next year?
Should they want him to come back? Absolutely. They should want him to come back. And here's why.
It's being reported that Dallas has already interviewed Mike
McCarthy. When you
McCarthy
talk about a player who has had an impact
NFL head coaches
within an organization, but solely in that organization, who we have identified as literally the cream of the crop. They are the front runner every single year.
I'm sure
you can't just allow this guy to just walk out. And again, I'm coming from a player perspective. Every single player that plays this game wants to stay where they got drafted. Nobody wants to leave. So I don't care what Tom Brady options are outside of New England. I don't care how great the talent is outside of New England. He does not want to leave because it's more involved than just football. His family, you don't think that's all they know is New England. That's all they know is that area in Boston. And so when you've had success, because he's been to a storied on the football field and in your personal life, and you had grown as a family within the organization, personal life, emotions, and this means more than just a game. It's more than just football. It's more than just records. It's all of these things being thrown into a pile and taken into consideration.
Well, so I'm glad you brought up family, because if they do bring him back, it will only be because he is part of Robert Kraft's family. Because he is a non-biological son of Robert Kraft. Because it won't be for football reasons. And I said it earlier, I will say it again. No one will ever duplicate what Brady did. He played 18 seasons as a starting quarterback for New England. Throughout the year, he got his knee blown up in the first game of the year against the Chiefs. 17 divisional titles, 13 buys, 13 AFC Championship game appearances, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl titles, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 league MVPs. It's the greatest career any athlete, you could argue, has ever had. Certainly since Bill Russell. It's ahead of Jerry Rice. It's ahead of my guy LeBron. It is the greatest career running game. There's no way to know it, and I feel sick for Carson Wentz is around the 20th best quarterback in football. And had a bunch of turnovers. And his coach played a clean game, and we saw his play caller position. No, I don't think as well when they refused to trust him on the goal line in the critical spots. Handoff. At the end of the game, when they have a 4th and 4, I know it said on the screen 4th and 6. It was actually 4th and 4 with the chance of, do we go for it down 1, or do we punt it back to Tennessee and trust our defense? No, we'll trust our defense because we don't trust our quarterback in
the end of the first half of the Dolphins.
It's a very similar situation. And so, Greg,
they didn't have Belichick
knows
McCown played a great great game.
What couldn't finish off? I just said
exactly
that Brady, he was suspended in 2016, came back, 28 touchdowns, 2 picks, a 112 rating. The next year, in 2017, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks, wins league MVP, a 102 rating. Last year, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks, a 97 rating, and this year they're out in the first round. He has an 88 rating. The way that doesn't jump back up like a stock market graph. It just keeps going down. So if you're New England, the non-emotional future first ballot removing the family component, and removing the history and the nostalgia,
and those two players.
And Brady said last week, I try not to engage in much nostalgia, so I wonder how much he's thinking about this as well. You ripped the Band-Aid off. With or without Tom Brady, the New England Patriots are not a Super Bowl contender for the next season. So the quicker you start the process, the better it is for the health of the franchise if Belichick's focused on Super Bowl ring number 7. And then there is the one other element of it. I just want your thoughts on this real quick before we move on. I wonder if Belichick, if a tie goes to, I would like to try to do this without him.
One of the best plays that we
are inextricably tied together, Brady Belichick. It has been the most symbiotic relationship imaginable, but it's not great for either of us anymore. So maybe we both now get a chance to go out on our own. Now it's much more fair to Belichick because age doesn't affect a coach like does a quarterback, so he can still be great at 68, 69 years old. And I wonder if Belichick, how much of his ego will say, I want to see what this is like when it is entirely my operation, not me and Tom's operation.
Yeah, I think that they both parties feel that way. I don't think it will benefit either of the two, unless Tom can go to a situation where it's all set up kind of like Peyton Manning did. But Bill Belichick will experience what life is like without having an elite quarterback. Period. And he's never had that. He's never had to live life.
Iconic figure in this organization.
And he had it this year.
Nobody respects Tom more than
I had it this year.
No, he had a bad offensive unit this year. It was not just Tom Brady.
They will have a lot of work to do.